Let's talk about design. No, let's actually let's talk about design. No, let's actually design. We've been doing a lot of talking, going through the cost structure, the principles behind it, how the cost is going to progress. Before we start designing, it's important for us to review the problem at hand, and then we can now look at user stories, the components of the design that we need to work on. Here is the problem again. We are required to build a backend for simple social media app that users can post random thoughts, comment on posts, like and follow other users. We also were able to come up with basic user stories, and which we talked about in the previous video, and we also came up with the structure of the design, the main components of the design. What I've now added are the tools that we are going to use to do this design. The reason behind it is ideally I would have loved to use Miro.com, but certain tools work better for certain scenarios, and we are going to start with Miro to design the domain and the system architecture. So if you don't have a Miro account, your Miro.com account, it will be a good time to set it up. And once you are done setting up, you can verify your email. You can actually join me in this. So we'll start with a blank board and untitled. Skip all the templates because we are going to design it from scratch. So the first part that we are going to design is actually the domain, but I need to copy the problem. We need a problem in the board as a guide. We'll use these two and increase the font a bit more. And make it, I don't want it to be so big. Move it around a little bit and increase the font. Okay, great. So this is the problem, and let's call it the problem. And make it bold. If you like, you can actually put some background color in there, and just keep it simple. And we also need to have on the side the basic user stories because we need them. So I'm going to duplicate these. Call it user stories. So going with the design, because the first aspect of this, we are going to design the domain. The principle behind it is what we call domain-driven design. You can look it up. You can also use any of the chat tools like ChatGPT or Gemini to learn about it. Before then, we need to, first of all, find a name for our project, because right now there is no name and we need to find a name for it. So if you look at the problem again, build a backend for simple social media. We know that we are building social media app, and what is the intention? We want people to post random thoughts. I think I would like to call it random thoughts app. So name random thoughts. I think it will make sense for an app. You can call it randomthoughts.com if you want, but I'll call it random thoughts app. Random thoughts. What's going on today? I don't know how to put it. So we have identified a name, and I'm going to change this to random thoughts. Next, we have been able to find the name from the problem itself. This clearly describes what we are working on. You can sometimes, if it's not a project like this, if it's a feature, you may not have to deal with the name. Next, we need to identify the components of domain-driven design concept. We have the entities, we have the value objects, and we have the aggregates. Right now, we need to identify the entities. How do we identify entities? We need to look at the user stories and find important aspects. So if we look at this, there is a first reference, a user. User is a noun. I would like to highlight it. Yellow. Okay. I like to highlight it. Next, should be able to post action. What should be able to do? And user should be able to see posts. See posts. We will come back to these. See posts of other users, and let's see posts, highlight, and still referring to post. That means the list of posts. And then comments on the posts where I highlight comments. And then we also have like a post. And the last one is follow another user. So we have identified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 domains. We have 5 domains. So user, post, comment, like, follow. If I use numbers, you can see we have 5 core domains. Call them entities. So there is additional requirement. You may be wondering, why did I not put the cpost as a domain? Because cpost is seeing a list of posts is an aggregate, and so that will come in what we will have additionally as feed. Feed will be a list of posts and then we are going to have another one that is called notification. You need to know when someone is following you, and these we group them into what we call subdomains. So now we have been able to use the problem to get the name, and we have been able to use the user stories to identify the domains. Let's go ahead with the design. So I'll take it down. I'll probably grab a diagram to keep it intact. Move it up a little bit, and then I like to use this, call it domain, add some background color to it. Maybe it's too dark. Find a lighter color. Yes. Make it bold. And then you can duplicate this with Ctrl D or Command D, depending on the shortcuts. So we start with user, duplicate these multiple times. We have 5 of them. And so we have user, post, and comment, like, then we have follow. Going to all these. Change the color, something lighter. Then make it linked. Just looks beautiful to me. So okay, now that we have that, so we need to add subdomains. There is one missing subdomain here. It's always there, but it's invisible. I'm going to add that. So add one more. This is going to be auth. Like to add it there. No, wrong. Highlights. Exactly the background. Then duplicate one more. We can have notification. We have feed. Find a different color. A darker color. No, this will work well. And then we have this last one, notification. We want to be notified when someone likes a post, someone follows, and someone comments. It's optional if we want the auth is associated with user. We also want user has feeds and is related to post. So yes. So we can break it down into, we have domain and subdomain. Don't really need that. So this is the design for the domain, and with this we have been able to structure the core entities of the core domain of the project, and then we have identified the subdomains. Next, we will design the system architecture. If we look at this again, we have domain design that we are supposed to design with Mirror, and the next one is actually the system architecture.